Okay, so I just got my tea, but I want to start that. Uh, so, okay, I gotta gather my thoughts. It's so windy. It is so windy here, and I cannot sleep at all. And I think the wind is like brings this energy because I feel those weird things. Like if this is if this is a solar storm or something, I don't know. It sounds like some of the time I feel like I hear the wind machine. So I don't know. It's weird. But it definitely is making me feel weird. I think it's making Stella feel weird, but it's like dizzy and stuff. Like it is weird. Um, okay, well, let me think because I have not had, I swear I haven't had it. It seems like I haven't had any sleep in so long. It seems like it's so chopped up. Like a few hours here and then a few hours there. And I don't know, I'm just trying to get used to, just trying to, like, I don't know how to make it stop. So it's kind of like you gotta figure out like, to deal with it. So, but my head was so fucking full. I was like, okay. It always is like, if I go and talk, then I can empty it out or something. Because it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but you'll have like these voices or something and will go in and it will keep repeating stuff and saying it and getting it louder and louder. I was like, okay, God, I'll go and fucking talk about. But look at my hair. Now in the morning, I don't even rush in there anymore. It's kind of like, you know, when you see the mirror the first time in the morning, I was like, oh yeah. And because before it was like, first thing when my eyes would wake up, it'd be like, oh my gosh, wonder if my hair is different. And so I'd run in there. But now it's kind of like I've kind of forgotten, but man, this morning when I went in there, I was like, oh my gosh, I think it's like gone. But I'm drinking my tea now. It's like starts this whistling in my chest or something. But, and it's so windy. I was like, man, is the power even going to keep going? So I don't know about that either. And, but the hair thing, oh my gosh. Like, I think it's dramatic, the difference. And there's just this little smidge left. So once that is gone, I don't know, maybe goodbye the weekend. Ooh, and last night, it was right late too. It was like 4:37 is when I saw the call come in. And I was waiting for the voicemail to come across because I'm not gonna just answer some strange call. Like you gotta be really careful. If you're answering strange calls, there's a lot of weird scams, a lot of weird shit going on. And then, you know, like I've got these strangers who have my phone number and stuff, like, and I you know, my car insurance jacked up double the price. And so I keep getting those things. Oh, you want a different car insurance? So one of the things I was like, okay, well, I'll fill it out and see. Oh my fucking God. Within 1 second, I swear to God, the moment send happened, I got an email, phone call, text. It was like wild. And, and they are so persistent. I was like, okay, this is such a scam. This is too desperate. Like this is the craziest thing, and it's still going. And so I'm not going to answer those because there's one it would call and then just immediately call back, and I was like, what the fuck, man? These people are nuts. And I was just so I kept being on my mind about insurance and just all the fraudulent shit that people do in this world to make money and the way they all like come at the world. That is what just really got me why, you know, I had to hurry and get my tea and say it because I was like sitting here waiting for my tea and kind of hanging. And then I was like, well, I might as well look on TikTok while I'm sitting here. And and it's very annoying to me lately. Like I can't handle it. I'm not hardly seeing hardly. I'm not hardly going on it. Plus, I keep crocheting, and that makes me not go on it. But there's just a weird energy. There's a really weird energy. It has been for a while, but it just keeps building where it's like so cringy to me. And it was like, ugh. And but I saw Daron. And of course, everybody's talking about what's going on in Kansas. It's like, it's so weird to me. It's like, I don't understand. Like, all these things keep happening, but everybody keeps acting like just go about life normal. And now, of course, because of all this, now, fucking Joe and Kamala are going to put through a ban on some assault rifle, which makes no sense because it's just to start more chaos, because what they have to do is a whole GUNBAN, because that is how the people that are here can, like this, everything is like super slow, like it's being exposed to us, like it's being shown to us. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but the way that it's going is like, this is just to show us. But it's so weird because bad stuff still happens. But like, so far there's only been one who's died from that. But there's going to be so many of these things. I keep saying and saying and saying. Like, this is how it's going to go down, and it's going to be hard to watch all of this, because it's like these people that just go out, and it's strange. So when I was just seeing Daron, he was alive downtown, and it was, what time is it? It was 11:30. I was thinking, what is it, 2:30 or something? No, it's 11:30. Oh my God, there's so many people on the streets and stuff. I thought this must be after the bars closed. These people just going down, maybe, I don't know, maybe they can't afford to go in the bars. They just go down and hang out in front of the bars and walk around. I don't know. Who knows what the fuck with this fucking scene anymore. But hold on a second. But it was super crowded. Lots of people. And there's just that Friday night energy. And I used to be out, down there. Like down right where he's at. I was down in Hollywood, so I've felt that energy. I've been in that energy. I've gone out. I've been those people standing on the sidewalk. And so it gives it like a certain feel to it. And when I was watching the people, and I don't know, so many people bury their heads in their phone. It's so strange. But when I was watching, and it gives so much more isolation too. There's so much less interaction. There's so much more, there's got to be something. I don't know. People are like, it's weird. People would even look at a fake thing to try and look like they're busy, so they look like they're busy to other people so they don't look lonely. Like, where's my friends? And it's like, but you could be making friends if you put your phone down and start saying, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, if people start interacting like we used to back in the olden days. Back in the day when I was young, we interacted like humans, like the animals that we are. I don't know. This is strange. But when I was looking at them, though, I was noticing how everybody is looking for something outside of them. It just was so big and so bright while I was watching. It was like overwhelming me. And this footage of this Kansas parade that they keep trying to show before the violence. Oh, before the violence set out, look at this party. It's like this aerial view of, so much red. But it was so weird because the way that aerial view was and all the red and stuff, it looked like a petri dish in macro, man. In a human experiment, like, what do you think that they're like? Look at the social interaction, and all these people going there and just mindlessly over a sport that is fixed. It's a game. It's not real. And they all take it so serious. They all have their expensive ass jerseys on. They're all in their get-ups and their gear. it's all to show people themselves. Like, that's the thing. It's like there's this part that's about to be revealed to people where they're going to see this part of themselves, a super shallow part of themselves. It's like, man, that has been being driven home to me so much lately over the last few days. And that's the problem with people in their discomfort of what's going on, or what will be going on, or whatever. However, the discomfort is because they're so comfortable in this artificial, fake ass, shallow ass world. They're so comfortable in that. In anything deep, anything of value, that makes them uncomfortable, because it's the other thing. And they're over on this, and they don't know how to pull over to this. And that's why you have to pull over to this balance. But that's why it's going to be so uncomfortable, because they're all so shallow. And then to go deep, it's going to be embarrassing. Like, it's kind of funny too, is this just came in my head too. It's weird how, like, I swear to God, I'll think I'm going to be talking about something, and it's always like goes off on something else. So hold on a second. Let me drink it all real quick. I don't have to mess with that. And I gotta have my hands free. Because, okay, so, in France, I don't know what the hell. There's all these girls like doing the French look, French, all about this French no makeup look or something. Like, put on makeup, but you look like you don't have makeup on or something. But it's a lot more skincare and stuff. And this girl, and I don't even know where they get this stuff. This girl did American makeup look on one side of her face, and she was doing the French one on the other side. So you got both looks. And oh my God, the American side was so, oh my gosh, so much fucking this dramatic eyes and all these lashes, and it was like a lot. It was a lot of fake, a lot of phony, a lot of made up. It looked like kind of hussy-ish, you know, kind of like, and you got to understand the energy I'm talking about, this gluttony, this like hussy. It's like, man, we've really hussied it up over here in America. Like, we've really just got up our own ass, like, in so many ways. Oh my gosh, there's so many ways. Like, you could just talk about them all. There's so much. And that's what, you know, we got to break free from, and we got to see in this shallow side of people. And all these people going to this big celebration in the name of their, I don't know, their team, their state, whatever it is that they are, you know, a part of, feel a part of. And, but what's wild is, like, for instance, is like during the Super Bowl, and this is like big talk. I'm going out of the, what is that called? Going out of the scene. I'm going out of the frame. I'm leaving the frame, and which is so foggy, and it's so weird too how there's so much activity in my kitchen, and it was so foggy right there. But that end of the house has gotten to be less. So maybe it's all moved up here. It's just kind of, maybe we're just kind of, the energy, everything's shifting. So I don't know. Maybe I could go. Maybe that's why I can't. I don't know. There's like too many things. There's too many things to figure out. It's exhausting. So, and you know, it's like, also want to do things and live our life and not just focus all the time on just fuck. But to not be out there just mindless and just like, let's just celebrate. Let's just, you know, go support another fucking fake holiday. And then plus the Valentine's Day one, you know, I feel so much like it is such a consumerism, artificial bullshit thing, because that's what we should treat people like every day. We don't need a fucking day to say, oh, remember to love people. That's like the new sin. Remember you have kids. And so that's absurd. So for them to do that, it makes it so clear to me is that they are just trying to get the people who don't have somebody to love to make sure, hey, remember, you're alone. You should be sad. We have an instrument, a device that will help you out of this world. They just want people to be sad and depressed. They want to get them on meds or get them, steal their consciousness, one or the other. And let me think back where I was, because now I'm going all over the place with this. Okay, I'm going back to the makeup thing. Okay, so over in France, so they're going with this, I don't know, I have no idea. I'm not over there. I don't know what they're doing with their makeup. All these girls are saying they're going with the more, putting on moisturizers and stuff like that. And then, but they're still putting some makeup on. It's not like they're putting zero makeup, apparently. I don't know. But the thing was like this very fake, made up, phony looking. And she even, when she put it on, she even liked the other side better. She was like, oh, seeing both sides together, I really like this side better. I mean, I think more and more people are going to, it's like you have to get used to your natural face. You have to get used to your face and accept your face. And so it's a, it's a process. And so we have all these girls, though, who, in our society, it's just so weird, man. I saw this girl again. She just gets in these most awkward positions. She's very pretty, but the way she's always selling herself, it's like, God damn, you're just lowering yourself. And it's always just like, when you know you're pretty, you can catch all these guys. Then you think you can choose, well, he's got to be this way, this way, this way, and this way. It's like, dude, things happen more organically. This is not the way. Yeah, but this is your learning curve. This is where you go in to learn this stuff. So, have at it. Go learn your lessons. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch people just be like so desperate. I see so much desperation in the world right now. It's like, oh, man, people are so desperate. And they just try and cover it up and hide it. Put on some makeup, drink a beer, put on some attitude. But everybody is, it's like this desperate to be liked, desperate to not be lonely. And I think I used to be scared to be lonely or something, because that was something that people would always tell me, because I was a relationship junkie. I'd go from one relationship to the next. But it always seemed misunderstood, because it was like, it was always these like guys lining up, like, there was always a guy who was there pushing and pushing and pushing to be in a relationship. So it was, I don't know, those of us who have been labeled like that, it's not just us, but, we have our part to play, but it's more complex than what the people around you look at and judge. And so, anyways, because to me, I don't have a problem with being alone at all. I was alone a lot of times, even when I was split up with my husband. It was like one of my birthdays. And this was back when I was still like celebrating birthdays. And I think it was like in my early 40s or late 30s or something. And we were split up, and he had the kids and everything. And I was completely alone. And, I'm completely alone in a bad place in my life. And, I was fine. And, and here, like now I've been here in this place since March of 2019. And I've been single since, I think, 2015. 2015, I think, is when I became single. It could have even been, no, it must have been 2015. I don't know. I think it was 2015 as well. So I've been single almost 10 years. And people like fear it. And it's not something to fear. It's like you find yourself. You find you can enjoy your own company. It's like people are desperate to, I don't know, there's something, because I know I was there before. So I get it. But, man, I've got so many things coming, like, because still, okay, it's the fake, all the fake stuff, it all goes together. Because all these parts of themselves, they're going to start seeing in a different way. They're going to see their own desperation. They're going to see their own, how much they hide behind makeup and filters and stuff. It's going to just keep standing out more and more and more to push them to accept themselves, to learn to be comfortable in their own skin, and per se, and to be comfortable in their own representation of self. And so it's weird. It's like, man, it's weird. It's like, it's something like something I'm gonna explain. There's definitely like it's like being in the groove, kind of, and not being in the groove. And there's so many people, it's like this whole action that's about to occur is to help people get in the groove, is to help them, because they're out stuck in this other energy. And it's like this distraction energy. It definitely is like keeps your attention and keeps you chasing something, but it's like it's so much deeper. What they're chasing is so much deeper inside of them. That's the thing. And so that's the part, like, where when things start going, it's going to go so much deeper than what people are expecting. And this is going to be, it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot different, I think, than a lot of people are expecting. I mean, you got so many people expecting all these people aren't going to wake up. You got all these people expecting all these different things. There's so much going on right now with, like, I'm one of the people I follow with the, who's always on the political stuff. I mean, she's like posting constant. There's like one thing after another. Like, a House representative is saying we're on high alert. Vladimir is saying he's going to do that. Like, there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit going on, like Iran and stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. And, oh, and there was a weird thing with the money thing, too. Was a guy was in the bank. He said that him and all these people were in line. They were waiting for their turn to go. And he said there was a guy over there who was dealing with the people, you know, the loan people. And all of a sudden he got up and he got really mad. And he started having a fit. And so they're all, you know, listening, what's going on over there? And he said they were all in the line. They were all just like, what? Because the guy was so mad. He was like, you're fucking telling me that I can't get a house loan when I'm putting $100,000 down and have $250,000 in the bank, and you're telling me I can't have a loan. And then they were saying, sorry, you don't qualify. Sorry, you don't qualify. He had this big fit and stuff. And so when he was going out, he stopped and talked to them, and they asked him, you know, how big was the loan you're trying to get? And he said $400,000. And so he could have almost paid cash for this place. And, but that would have been a bad move, because that would have been a big crash. But it's all going to crash anyways, all this money. But I don't know, there could be a thing where that money is going to be replaced. I've heard that too, that there's going to replace money that people have. So I don't know about, it's all going to kind of, I'm sure, take a minute to do it all. Like, it's going to seem one way, but it's going to seem one way because of the energy, because of the people, of how they're looking at it. Oh my God, it just did that thing. It keeps doing this face up in the sky that looks just like the face out in that sky. What is it? That is weird. That is just weird. So that throws me. Oh fuck, I swear to God, you can see my head was so fucking full was just like, it was like shouting in my head. I was like, oh my God, there's no fucking way I can sleep. Let me think. Okay. Let's go back to the face thing. Because, okay. So, yesterday I said that there was a black line. Like, I don't know. To me, it looks like that black line isn't there anymore. And so what I was doing was just like what I had said I was going to be doing. And so going and doing all of this rubbing in all of these places. And also because one thing about your face aging and stuff is, and this starts when you're like 20. This probably starts when you're 18 or 17 or something. Starts when you're young. It's the not taking care of it is the things that you think are where you're aged. So you need to be taking care of this kind of stuff all the time. But you have all this fluid and stuff that moves around, has places that get stuck. And these lymph areas and stuff. You have a lot of, it's like it's kind of like a filter system through your system. So it's kind of like if you had a system, the air venting system, and you put filters throughout the system. So it's kind of like your lymph is filtering, like your kidneys filter something, your lungs filter, your heart filters. Like you have all these things, like your heart goes and has the blood go through it. And when it goes through, it goes through, because when the blood comes out, when it goes out, it goes real hard. It pumps up real hard, and it shoots up towards your head. And so it starts with the circulation. That's why people have more problems down with their feet, is because the circulation is harder. So when you are having circulatory problems with your feet, the thing that you want to do is you want to start doing more exercise, get your heart to pump more, get your circulatory system to work harder and pump the blood down to your feet. That is what you're not getting enough circulation, so you get neuropathy and stuff. So the blood starts pumping and it shoots out. And I'm pretty sure now, I can't remember exactly. My daughter's class wanted me to come and do a class on this on the board one day for school. Oh, that was hard. I felt so weird. But so it pumps out. Man, does it go right into the lungs? Because there's a whole thing with your lungs and the pumping and how the blood goes through, and then how it shoots through these filters and stuff, and then it pumps back around. So see, it's constantly going through these filters. And so your lymph is these other filters throughout. So your body's constantly filtering itself. It's constantly cleaning itself. And that is why their disruption is what we need to not do. They are disrupting our enclosed system that has a pattern of effectiveness of being able to clean itself. And so, but it's kind of an impatientness on the human being to rush to something. So it's this, they play on our weaknesses. And so they pull on our weaknesses. And they've had years and years of understanding us so that they can know what our weaknesses are. So it's kind of like second nature for them. It's real easy. It's very easy to manipulate us at this point. And so they play on these weaknesses that we have. But now what was I talking about? Enclosed system, this system. Okay, so you have your blood and it's all filtering and it's all enclosed. So you got all of your filter system all going. Okay, so you got the lymph and everything. Okay, so then you have the lymph going through. Okay, so then when you get areas where you have injury or something, you will get lymph. Like you can have sickness, injury, whatever, you get like a lymph clogged up place. And so that will create a swelling and stuff. And so that's what they're saying is like those kinds of things will cause aging in your face, will appear changing, not aging so much as a change in your appearance that you associate with aging. And so it's different places that are inflamed and irritated and holding lymph and stuff not moving around and everything. And so, you know, it's just like putting all these different pieces together when you start just seeing all these things. Like, I don't know, the universe will give you the pieces they want you to put together. And then they'll tell you and they'll help you put it together. And so it just becomes clear. It just becomes so clear that you can just see it. It's like, I don't even know what else to say. But then trying to explain it, though, is always more. So anyways, the lymph thing in the face. So then putting it together about this, all the stuff I was saying yesterday about this inflammation, about all the things that were going on here. And so then, you know, and this is all just coming to this new realization about this, these injectables, which, I just saw this doctor who was doing a breakdown on Jennifer Aniston's face. And so she was going real up close, and she had some weird stuff. Like, and the lady was like, they shouldn't have done this. Like, I don't know. They did some eyebrow thing, or I don't know. They did something because she has fat eyelids, like Renee Zellweger or something. My sister has those same kind of eyelids. Some people, they feel like they get too droopy as they get older, but I think there's things you can do. You don't have to go in and do that. You've got to be like some sort of like eye exercises or something. I don't know. Maybe it's lymph. Maybe you need to do massages on them or something. But anyways, they go get them cut and get some of the fat taken out or something so that their eyes aren't so droopy. But they did something, and her eyebrows are doing something weird. And then they did some kind of weird injections or something. It was just a lot of stuff that, like, when they were saying that, I was like, oh my God, these people keep going and getting these injections and shit. It's like, fuck. At the same time, they're putting out the shit that is causing cancer on your face, dude. This is what your insecurity was while you went in there. And now they're going to tell you have to start cutting your face out. That's the other side. There's always another side. Always. There's always a consequence. There's nothing that doesn't have another side. And it's always like, this is something I would always watch for as a kid. I would always know there's the other side coming, and it's like, what's going to be the other side? And so often it's some shit like that. Like, you got fat fucking face cancer. Like, you were insecure before. Like, be prepared. And that is why the universe is trying to get you to work on your insecurity. Like, and then don't take the shortcut. Don't take the shortcut. Because it always leads to a more complicated verse. Oh my God, damn. So, anyways, with mine is, so with this awareness of this toxin inside of my body that's trying to erupt out of my face and probably causing more problems with my eye, like all the fucking problems. And so doing all of, and then the lymph thing and stuff. And then, so I've been doing these massages here. And then I was doing a lot right in here. So I was like, what? And it hurts, man. And I've got this place right here that I kept thinking it's like, and I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put energy into it because we're not flesh and blood and whatnot. And so I got to keep fighting against the visions that come in and stuff. But, you know, cancer starts eating shit away. It's a bug living off of you. So so anyways, I was doing all of this stuff and moving this, and then down in this, because there's got to be a lot of lymph down here where your tear ducts and shit are. And then it makes sense that this would be a place where it would get stuck because of the movement. And so I was doing a lot of this, like this kind of stuff, and moving it. And moving these ones and moving it. And then when you move it down here, you got to move it down into here. Or you're going to move it back and move it down into here. So you got to like move this stuff through your face. Like when I was doing this, I was thinking, man, this is like going and getting a facial. This is the kind of stuff they do when you get a facial. I was thinking, I bet you it probably is more healthy. Like, we probably need facials every day. Probably in some places, like over in China or something, they probably do that shit to themselves every day. And then over here, we're like, well, we'll get someone else to do it for us. And we'll go get facials. And then you have to pay so much to be healthy. So anyways, you got to do it to yourself. So you got to move, and you got to do these ones back here because you have so many tension points. And the tension points, this doctor guy was talking about, will hold, the muscles will get tight, and then they'll hold another one and it will pull your face down. And so it will be what's pulling this tightness. And so that is where you got to go in and release all this tension and keep releasing it and releasing it. This is making my nose, like, it's weird. Yeah, how I can feel something up here. But after I did all that yesterday, my nose cleared. My nose didn't drip. It was nothing all afternoon. This morning I was like, okay, well, I was thinking, okay, I want to see what happens after I drink my tea. And it did get a little bit more like where there's movement. And, but I think that this moving, the lymph thing, and so the reason I'm going so specifically is because of like where I'm moving and stuff, so you could notice, because I was thinking that there was swelling here. And then when I moved it, I was like, man, I think that looks like more flatter or something. Like there was like there really was swelling. And so, and some of this, like, and I don't know if it's, like this is scar tissue, and it, like from getting hit. But I'm going to keep rubbing it and try and loosen it. And then I think every time that you do something to do something like that you're going to create inflammation. And so that is going to be where you need to move the lymph. And so you need to move the fluids out of your face when you do this stuff. And so it's a whole process. You know, you got to go in and do all this process. And then to me, it's always adding, you know, to do some like that kind of exercises and tightening the, I don't know, it's tightening the jaw, I think, tightening, but it loosens this, this TMJ muscle or whatever, this muscle that gets so tense back here. But another thing I noticed with that too, with doing this, moving the lymph back here, it is making that better too. So if you have like TMJ or a lot of tension back here, do a lot of this kind of rubbing, and it can feel sore. Like it feels sore on some of these places when you rub. And, but that can be like a tight muscle or clogged up lymph or something. But you got to listen to your own body. Don't just sit there and like hurt yourself. And, but back here, you know, do these rubs and pushing and stuff to move this. But I did notice since doing all that this was getting to be less sore. And I felt like this was clogged up, and I felt like this was like swollen, like swelling was going down, and I felt like this blackness went away. And it's yesterday it seemed like it was starting to do something, so I put the horse paste on it twice, I think, and it's back down to just like barely feels like the tiniest bit of dry skin there, like it was going away. So I'm going to keep doing all of this lymph stuff. I also got the soursop leaf yesterday. So I have a Syac tea and soursop. So those two are supposed to be the same kind of intensity of cleansing as chemo. And so, you know, I'm taking all these things that are really, and plus I've done so much to filter out and keep my kidneys and liver clean. I mean, I just got that lab test back that said everything was in perfect function. So my body's fully functioning. And so I'm helping it with the herbs, and then with my awareness of where there's, you know, toxins built up. And I don't even know, there could be other ones, I'm sure, you know, for all the shit that we breathe in and stuff. We've got so much going on all the time. And that's why they want you to come in, and, they want to find it so that they can get you hooked in with your insecurities, thinking they're going to save you. And it's just like a whole fucking thing. That you got to start seeing that your body can heal. It can heal itself without them interfering. And that is one thing too with the med beds, that it grows this stuff back. Everything that they've cut out, because they've cut a lot of parts out of me. They've cut stars. I've got scar tissue and stuff. So all those things will be fixed once we get to go in there. Oh, and I did get that call from this last night, the surgeon's office. So I haven't got to talk to him yet. But I called back and left a message, but they didn't call back last night. But I was like, oh, it's after 5. Surely they've probably gone. And so hopefully they're going to call this morning. So I don't know. She said if you wanted to talk about a cosmetic procedure or something. So I don't even know if they know what I'm calling about yet. So hopefully they're like, no. And then they're like, oh yeah, we can do that. Come on in. Come on down. We'll do it today. That would be so cool. So anyways, I don't know. We've got that going on. And if they don't do it, then I guess, will show me that it's time to move to the next one. Because the next one will be the Seattle doctor, to try that one. And then if the Seattle doctor says no, then it's the Spokane doctor. So just have to keep moving. Now I'm like 45 minutes away. Then it will be a couple hours away. But then I may have to go to the 6 hours away. But then after that, it's going down to like 13 hours away to get a doctor in California. But California can be gone. Like how things are going. Like, because Weather Daddy, I saw him on his thing. And he said that there's another storm coming in. I saw this other guy talking about there's a bunch of earthquakes. This one guy was saying, oh, this is just totally normal, all these earthquakes. And I was like, well, how in the world is just totally normal when the whole... Like, are you taking other things into consideration? This is the end of a cycle. Like there's a lot of things to consider, but this is totally normal. But then you have all these people just going out, just like everything's just normal. And it's so strange. It's like, I feel like they're so cut off from themselves. Like there's a part of go and, continue living your life. But there is just this mindless part of our society that they just keep going and going. And then they're just like sitting ducks for these instigators. Like, I told you this is how it was going to play out. I told you this is what they were going to do. And it's going just like what just like what I could see. And the people it's going to keep going like that. But this is what, this is how it's supposed to play out. Like you can't get it to go different. This is what it is that causes the change. All this mindlessness, all this shallowness, all this is what it is. We see the dark side of it, and that's what changes it. It gets us to be more mindful, more aware, more caring, more compassionate. It is what makes all these changes in the world, because of what people are doing and how they're acting and all that. So that all has to go down. We can't change it. It just is hard to watch, It's hard to watch a lot of this stuff. Like, especially when you just start seeing things differently. Like, I just think it's the strangest thing. These girls, like, I swear to God, sometimes, like, I'll want to hear the story. And they all want to put on makeup while they're telling these damn stories, or eat. Some want to sit on the goddamn toilet. It's like, I don't understand our society. I swear to God. Don't understand why. I'm going to sit on the toilet and I'm going to tell you about it. So we're going to sit here and talk. It's like, okay, this is just awkward. It's not awkward for you. It's awkward for me. I can't sit here with you on the toilet. It's like, good luck to you. Like, I think that's the strangest thing in the fucking world. And the eating, I think, man, people have got so many strange things they keep doing. So weird. But the, I don't know if it's just, I don't even know if it's just mindless, if it's attention seeking, if it's just certain behaviors that have just become acceptable to us. Like, it's just a lot of strange shit, man. And the, oh God, let me think. what it was before I went off on that. Because this one, I just started seeing this whole account and all these different videos, and it's just like, oh my God, that's so strange. Like, man, it's so weird. But like, yeah, I have to just go off of some of these things. It's just strange to me. And see, I've got this judgmental side. But I'm not saying they're bad people. You know, they're bad people. They're just stupid. They're ignorant. They have no value. No, I just think a lot of people do a lot of strange things that I don't even think that they know what they're doing, that they even question themselves, that they don't even look at it that deep, that they just are just existing. And they barely want to do that. They want to be distracted, and they want to just bitch and complain about how life sucks. It's like, you see why so much stuff has to change. Like, life has great value. Life is fun and exciting. It has great value. There's so many people that don't even they don't use the experience. It's like, well, all experiences would be learning. So no matter what, no matter if you are just completely mindless, total idiot, you know, they catch you on the life review. You have to review. Well, how do you feel now about that? So, well, I feel like I need to get back in there, coach. I need to make some changes. So that is, but then people get in it, and I don't know. In other times, maybe they got in it. I don't think so. I think if you go back over your past lives and stuff, they're just stories. Just stories. Just like all these are just stories. Everything happening is just a story. And then, but we're changing. You know, it's like they're burning down the old library and putting up a new one. And so the stories, it's like being reevaluated, looking kind of like, do you want to take that with you? Do you need that still? Does that have value? But each person has to do their own revaluing. And I have a bunch of stuff on the house thing coming in my head with that. But to me, I just feel like, I feel like the banks are just so fucking on the verge. I feel like even if, this is like, God, I don't want it to go into this. But even if it were to go into this, like this yesterday, I was thinking, you know what? Because I got something else. Oh, what was it? I wanted to share it. I forgot. Oh, it was, this time-sensitive alert that I got in the mail. And it said that there's still hope. You could still refinance, and you can still get a new loan, and your payment's only going to be $600. I was like, oh, look, they're trying to trap me into a new loan or something. And, but that's what they're trying to do. But see, the bank, they can't even loan money. Like, that's the thing. They can't even loan money. Even with the guy with all that money, they don't have any. Like, they're not going and saying that. They're telling the person, like, you don't qualify. But you can't get a loan. I don't think that they're giving out loans like that. I think that there's a lot of problems. I think the problems are being seen more and more and more. And more people are seeing and talking about it. And so that's going to keep going. It's not going to fix. It's going away. The banks are going away. And so we're just right on the edge. But I was like, okay, so on the thing, it says March 1st is my auction. March 1st is my auction. So, and I don't know, how many houses being auctioned, how many, like, there's the whole thing about it. And the problem with the moving, the liquidity of the currency right now, like, there's issues. So I don't know about that, but let's just say, for instance, if some person, like, this is what I was seeing yesterday. So some person goes and gets my house, goes to this auction and says they're buying this house, and then they come and they tell me I have to go. I'm like, no, this is my house. And they're like, no, I just bought it. I said, well, you can't buy a house. It's not the banks to sell you. They can't sell it. I have homesteading rights here. I've done over 65% improvements on this place. The bank owes me. They can't take this place from me. I have human rights. The human rights override any of this corporate law. And and I was like, even if the cop came, I was like, I'm gonna be asking him, could I get, if they come and say, well, we're gonna have eviction, and when a cop comes, I'm gonna say, you know, this is against my human rights, so I need your badge number and stuff, because I don't know that all these people understand the consequences of what they're doing right now. Like, they think because the laws or the rules say, but this is about you clicking on inside and knowing for yourself, not follow orders, to have a heart and soul inside of you. And so there's a punishment if you don't. There's a stiff punishment if you don't figure it out. And it's, you know, it's a stiff one. It's the end of the game for you. So but I was like, I mean, I would have to do that. Like, I would have to go out and have that argument. Like, I don't know where it would go, you know, and tell them they don't have authority over me. I kept thinking, national sovereign being, you have no jurisdiction over me. You can't, and you don't own this land. The bank doesn't own this land. So it's like, oh, I hope that's not what it comes down to. Go through that fucking bullshit argument with all these fucking people who don't know what the fuck is going on. So, anyways, we'll see how it all goes. But I was like, you know, even if they fucking auction it on the 1st, I mean, there's so much more to do. And I don't feel, I swear, it just feels like this is my place. Like, this is my place. And, you know, it's not, I've never felt like it was going to be where I was going to be for all the time. I always felt like I was going to have another place. But I still just feels like this is my place. And so, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. See what's next. But it feels like, to me, there's so much, like, right on the edge of everything falling apart. Right on the edge of all this, these huge attacks. There's, like, where they're saying there's attacks on internet. There's attacks on our what is that called? Like, our account, like all these accounts and people's identities, and all this stuff has been hacked again, and all this what are the things, like all these things that they say were our water, which now our water thing, now they said, oh, we've tested it and everything looks good, so you don't have to boil it anymore. And I just feel like this whole thing is just, it's all shady. Like, all these different people's water, like, the whole fucking thing is just shady, 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 shady. All of it. And the people participating, like, the people who work at these places, like, there's good. You know, I don't know what they're all doing. I don't know what they all know, but the universe does. You yourself knows. You can't get away from it. You can't, confirmation, you can't hide from it. Like, whatever part you've played is going to come to the surface. And so, I don't know. I see, like, there's a lot of just shady fucking shit. And people just, it's almost like they're against humanity. Like, Julia Roberts. Get out there and you better vote. Oh, okay, yeah, I want to be a slave forever. Get out there and take your medicine. And you got Travis and, what's her name? Taylor and Travis. Oh, isn't that cute? Taylor and Travis. Now they're out there telling people, oh, well, got to get rid of these things. Especially after what happened in Kansas. That's all Travis is. He was this fucking sellout. They brought him onto the thing. And who knows? Like, I don't know if they line up all the quarterbacks and go, okay, you know, which one of you guys, we're going to make one of you a star this year. You're going to do what we say, and you're going to be an idol. And, you know, like it's a contest or something. Taylor comes in, picks the bachelor #1, and then they take off, and then the guy's so caught up in his own whirlwind, he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. It's like, dude, you guys are selling out fucking humanity. Like, there's so many of these people. Like, in Alyssa Milano, boy, shit's just getting worse and worse for her by the day. Like, she just looks a fool. And it's so sad, too, is because, you know, I mean, she was a child star. So she's probably just had a fucked up life. And she just seems like she has major insecurities. You know, and she was real pretty girl. So she really got used and used and used by all these different guys. And then she's probably full of insecurities. She probably just doesn't even know who she is. She got the other girls on the show out against her, like, and then now her whole thing with this money, asking for money for her son's baseball team, and now she got into the fucking Super Bowl with her son and all this stuff, and she keeps coming in and being real defensive and trying to defend herself. It's like, I don't know, all these different people's personas and shit, it's all gonna just keep blowing up. It's gonna keep just blowing up on them, and it seems super sad and hard and tragic, but it's for everyone's benefit. Like, this, you know, what people think of you here doesn't really fucking matter. Like, who cares if they cancel you? What matters most is you do your work on yourself. You release that. You go through the pain and the trauma, and you let it go. You don't get caught up in the burden and being held back, because that's what you're here for, is the overcoming all these obstacles. It's like championing yourself through all the different things that go down. And so even no matter what, even if it's your own consequence, it's your recognition of your own darkness play out that you have to witness so that you can be the one who finds balance or changes it. It's you who has to do the reevaluation, the realignment. You can't do it for somebody else. Like, this is breaking free from that whole thing of like trying to please others. So you can't do any of the stuff going forward is like, oh, well, you know, to be more accepted by them, or so they'll like you or whatever. And that's the whole thing too in this spiritual community knockoff thing is it's all like to impress each other and stuff. It's all to try and be cooler than the other guy or something. It's like a competition of coolness, because it's a hot trend. So whoever's got to be the trendiest spiritual type personality or whatever, you know, but it's not about the real work. It's more about the image. That's the whole thing, is all these people are all caught up in image. It's like the image is, image can be toxic to your fucking existence. It's holding you back. It's like, you got to hold up an image. What are you holding up an image for? So who are you trying to please? Who are you trying to, it's more valuable to find yourself and hold yourself up. You know, stand strong in what you believe and how you feel about things. This image thing, it's shallow. There's nothing to it. And it's the same thing as like all these girls. Like, there's so many girls in that Super Spirit Love and Light group. And they all wear tons of makeup, tons of hair color and stuff. See that fakeness, that phoniness, that hiding yourself, that creating an image that's cool or whatever. And then isn't getting comfortable with yourself. And then it's just so full of all these toxins. It's full of hiding from, you know, putting on a mask and stuff. And that's why I said in this big changeover, when all of that stuff goes, because there's going to be a whole thing. Just like with that girl who was putting on the 2 makeups, and the American one was just like so overdone. And then when she put on the other more simple one, and she was like, oh, I like better with like this. It's like, Yeah, as people are going to start looking at themselves and seeing themselves as like, oh my God, like I look like some sort of hussy. But then they're going to start trying to take it off, and they're going to feel super uncomfortable and insecure. And it's because it becomes a crutch. It becomes a mask. You start feeling like you have to look that certain way. It starts being like your identity. And so it's this whole readjustment. So you have to like get comfortable. Everything is about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. And, you know, if you've been one of these people with all this makeup, because it's crazy when you see these girls, really pretty, pretty girls. It used to be people put on makeup to try and be like, well, you know, I don't have perfect eyebrows, so I want to fix my eyebrows. Well, I don't have the best lashes, so I want to, you know, there would always be something that somebody would try and fix in themselves. So they would go buy the thing to enhance it. And so, but makeup goes through trends too, where they like really go through this really doing it up. And that's where we've been in this really doing it up. But when you see these girls and how many different things, it is the strangest thing. How they put on all this the contour, then put on light, then put on contour, then put on light, then put light over this, and then light there, and then put contour, then put sealing powder, then put a sealing spray, then put a contour, then put a highlight, then put, it's like, what the fuck? And they're always pulling out these things. Oh, this is blah, blah, blah. These products. And this is where they get these little kids hooked. Because these women who sit there going through all these products, like, it is insane. And these are girls that are pretty naturally. And they're just like, oh, so you need to go buy hundreds of dollars of stuff to put on your face when you don't even need anything on there to look prettier. Because you just like the way makeup looks or feels on your skin or the effects on your hormones and your metabolic system. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, our society is just so inept of its own self. It's just like, I don't even know. I don't understand these girls with their, just put it, it's like mindless. And it's hiding yourself. And it's becoming, and it's like a trend. It's like the look. But you gotta have the look. The trend look. And so they're all chasing this look. See how they're all chasing something outside of themselves. And see how it has nothing to do with how you look on the outside. You can look pretty on the outside and not even see it. Not even know it or feel it. It's crazy. Like I don't know. Our society is just so lost. And then they're always running outside of themselves to feel better. Looking outside of themselves all the time. That's the whole way that Western medicine became so insidious into our lives. It made us so dependent on that quick fix, on feeling better and what they could do. And really what they were doing was causing more problems and destroying your health, all in the name of saving you or something. And I'm just so irritated about the medical lately. I'm trying to not have super bad attitude, because it's like this bad attitude where, you know, I even got in there like in these fantasies I have of going in and talking to the surgeon. It's like I just want to fucking tell all these doctors. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But even when I tried to talk to the one, when I got my physical, you know, and you start arguing, calm down. You just need to calm down. I'm like, don't talk. You cannot talk. And it's just so strange, because I literally brought up about the toxins, because I knew she was going to bring up about the labs. I knew she was going to bring up, and I knew she was going to push on the hep C thing. I knew those things were going to happen before I even went in, because that was the last conversation before I even went. They wanted me, they were calling me to come in and get labs and shit, and I just didn't go. I was like, fuck that. It's like, I gotta drive all the way into town, so I gotta go 2 hours to get the goddamn labs. Like, fuck that. And so I just focused on my health and taking care of myself. So I knew that would be a thing when I went back. And so then they were pushing on the go in and do the all these different labs, when she was just saying these two. She didn't even say, like, she was totally looking for something to be wrong. And then the Hep C thing too. And everything was fine on all of it. I don't have any viral load. And which, by the way, I didn't know this. I don't even know if it's true, but this Alicia Keys was born to a prostitute with AIDS. Alicia Keys has had AIDS her whole life. Like, look at that. They used to tell us, like, you would die. You would die. That always blew my mind. When Magic, when he was getting up to, like, 10 years, I was like, okay, there's something else going on. So the poor people die. Like, so, I don't know. All this shit is so fucking shady. But you don't even understand all that unless you lived through it. Like, those of us who lived through that era, I was like, fuck. So... let me think for a sec. Where was I? Sickness. Oh yeah, with the blood and stuff, and looking for some kind of thing to be wrong. And because then when she was saying that, I was like, okay, well, if you're gonna do all those blood tests, I would like to get a toxin thing. I would like to know what are the chemicals and the toxins inside of me. And she's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, you'd have to have some specific, what do you mean? I said, like, environmental, like all these toxins. She's like, there's no what are you talking about? There's nothing. And I said, like, all the stuff in the air and stuff. She's, that's not good science. That's not real. That's fake. That's not. And she starts giving me this whole fucking, like, what do you read? Rockefeller Science 101? Like, fuck off with this shit. I was like, oh my God. The doctors are like, when does it start clicking in your fucking mind? The environment and sick people. Environment and sick people. Like, what are you trying to convince us of? And now they've got, they're really pushing on this fungi sickness or something. I don't know. They tried to make the guy on the plane. That one they could have easily turned into Ebola. That's the one that I was scared of that them doing. Was Ebola. That's what that one sounds like on the plane. But they haven't said yet. But all the people on the plane at this point would already be dead. So, because that's how it spreads. Like, everybody who would have been on the plane, they would have been within a couple days, they would all be dead too. So, and there's this other one, I don't know, they've got all these sicknesses. It's like they spray the sicknesses in on us. And then we get sick. And then we go and say, and then they tell us that like we're getting sick from each other. No. We're getting sick from the goddamn shit that you're giving it, fucking spraying on us, motherfuckers. I'm like, goddamn. It's like, if these doctors are that fucking dim-witted, and we go and trust them, and they can't fucking figure shit out for themselves, they can't look out into the fucking environment and see, put two and two together, like, are you kidding me? And we're coming to you and asking you for advice? I think you guys need to fucking go back to school. You need to fucking go back to fucking wake the goddamn hell up school. Like, I don't think their brains work. They're just stuck on ego and thinking about how much money they have in their bank accounts or something. It's like lost in this perpetual three-dimensional, greedy, corrupt world. Yeah, people are just so, it's like perpetually just consumption. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get better. It's like, no, you gotta stop everything. You gotta make changes. You gotta do things different. You gotta take responsibility for yourself. Nothing changes until you change it. You're the one who makes the change. Nobody's gonna make the change for you. Nobody's gonna save you. You're the one who has to save yourself. It's like save yourself from yourself. You got to see, you got to find this part of yourself, this shallow side of yourself. And the more people push and the more people wait, the more it's going to become uncomfortable. Because when the whole world starts becoming more deep and more, because that was the thing too about the Super Bowl thing, is well, all these people were so outraged, is like, because The Real, they did a commercial to, talk about how great they are, that they should be loved and admired. And at the same time during this bowl that they were clearing the strip with weaponry or whatever, they're blowing shit up all over the place. And so then people are so mad, and how easy Americans are distracted. They run to games, and that's the thing. It's like, but I'm not saying that we need to just, I mean, we can't fix the Middle East problems. But the thing is there's just this is the way it's always been. This is why we have so many people who didn't even know there was problems in the Middle East. Because of the shallowness. Oh, man, hold on. Because of this shallowness. Because of this, put on the game. Put on an award show. Go to a concert. Go to it's just this, all this bad stuff's happening. Well, it's not happening for me. I'm going to a show. It's like this, I don't care what goes on with anybody else. I don't care. The whole world can blow up. I'm going over here. It's just this selfishness. This is not caring about other things, not caring about connection. But this is the part that is changing. This is the part that we are, the universe is pushing up on. And so that is the part, like, why so much of our humanity and our interactions will change. It's because people's attitudes change. The way people think and care about things and what they care about is, you know, it's just like a thing of like, as the world becomes more deeper, then all this part of people that is super shallow, like the girls that will want to start, you know, all these girls going on their hair growth journey. Like, I just saw this one, it's like this lady, so I can't remember what her issue was. This is a hairdresser doing this video. And the lady came into her, I don't remember what her issue was. If her hair was thinning because of menopause or whatever, because it's all aging is your mineral reduction. So she's having issues because of lack of minerals, but that's not how they're looking at it. And so she does something to her hair. I don't remember. Trims it or whatever she does. And then she decides, oh, I remember, the woman was a cop. She's gone through divorce, death, like all these things. And she's just so stressed out, and her hair was having problems or whatever. So she does all this stuff. And then she decides, well, we're just going to go back to long hair. So after she just did this stuff, well, she still bleached it. Then she just glues more hair on. So she glued all this hair. And I saw this one lady talking who was a wig lady. This lady was a darker skinned woman. And she has, so she's talking about weaves and wigs and stuff. And she was talking about, you know, you don't even know what the energy that hair is carrying. She tells all these ladies, you got to go, any wig, any of this hair, you got to do a whole saging, all this stuff, get the old energy off of it. Some of these ladies, you don't even know what they've gone through, and now you're putting their hair on, and then you're gluing it onto your hair. Then you've got that glue, like there's a whole thing. So right when the lady wants to focus on the health of her hair, the solution is, let's go quickly and grow it. God, hold on. So the lady wants to get healthier, but the hairdresser's solution is to just glue this hair so you can look good real quick. It's way better to focus on the healthier hair, especially like that lady was saying. You don't even know what energy you're putting onto your hair, like the trauma that these other people have gone through, and it's just the same kind of thing too. Is man, there's so much more to it. There's a whole thing about, you know, it's part of our central nervous system. There's a whole thing about the wisdom teeth. There's a whole thing about the connection with that. There's a whole thing about this, all this stuff, and the antenna, and how we feel the world, and how our hair holds our memory. It holds everything of our experience. It's like a confirmation. It's like an antenna to feel, but it stores And so it holds all of this information and stuff. And then, then you go and take someone else's hair. It's like the same thing as like if you go and take someone else's like kidneys or the transplant or something, then you have their, like, you'll start having their memories. I think their DNA, like there starts being this merging of DNA. Like, I don't know. I don't want to do that like, at all. I don't want anybody else's stuff inside of me. Nobody else's blood or any of that stuff. But so it has its own cellular energetic imprint. It has its own being. And so then it carries, just like this chair would carry energy from everyone who's ever sat in it. So you are, so then you're sitting and you would pick up on other people's energy, even if you didn't know why. Like, it could give you a certain feeling sitting in it. But so you could go get that hair on, and then, like, fuck, man, you could end up being like just depressed. Like, you don't even know why you got so depressed. You've just been so down. You can't just get out of it, and you don't know why. You got this woman's hair glued on you that, like, ugh, she was abused all the time. She was beaten by her husband. She grew her hair out and cut it off so she could sell it, so she could get out of an abusive relationship. The whole energy behind the hair. And then you've put that energy onto yours. And then if it was this, it's like, it's not like positive or negative. It's like an energy. It's like an energy it carries. Just like all these different places, there's an energy there. And so that energy of her trying to grow her hair, like, you think she's kind of like championing herself, you know, she's using what she can to do, but then it's not like, it's not like the same. She doesn't feel the same about her hair as she does as if somebody who loves their hair and takes care of their hair. It's like a means to an end. It's a way out. So it's a different energy. And so then you go and glue that hair on, and then you're going around like you feel so good, but it's like the hair is like dirty, and I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because you can, like, I can see it. But it's weird. I don't know how to explain it further than that. But anyways, there is like all these things, and that lady, you know, this quick fix, like, so you can look better, just glue this hair on, especially when she was trying to do better because her health was having issues because of all of these stressors that she had in her life. But see how we do things? See how it's done? And how we need to make the changes and go in and start looking at your, it's like the stressors that happen, like the mistakes we make. We go to the doctor and we ask them, what's wrong? Why do we feel bad? How can we feel better? And then, so we go for that, for a quick fix, instead of just letting our bodies do it, because our bodies just does it by itself. But it may take longer than what you're comfortable with. And it may be more tedious. You may feel like shit. You may need more time to rest. You may need more time to yourself. And if you don't want that, because that doesn't seem to be a part of how you see yourself or your lifestyle. You know, you see yourself as social and you got to get out there and have fun. You don't have time to be sick. So you want to go to the doctor and just get something. But that just makes it have more issues. You get more issues and more issues because you get side effects. It starts having disruption in other areas of your body. And so you have more problems because that is that other side. You're just adding to your problems. You're trying to find a quick way, so you're adding on and making more problems for yourself. So it's way better to go at it in the other approach of the long way, you know, of taking care of yourself, focusing on your health, taking the time that you need, and not being mad at yourself. And it's like, even if you think you're taking too much time, it's like, what is the time there for? Like, That's why everything is this revaluing, reprioritizing. Like, what does time even mean to you? What does it mean to be alive? What makes you happy? Like, there's so many people, and they need this, and they need this, and they need this, and they can't be happy. They need all these things to make them happy. And that is like when these things flip, where it's going to be like, oh my God, I need a lot to make me happy. And it's like, do I really need that? Do I need that? That's the breakdown, where you got to start seeing this shallow release of all these things that you thought you needed. You thought you needed that. You thought you needed lashes. You thought you needed nails. You thought you needed a new car. You thought you needed a big house. You thought all these things you thought you needed. It was all superficial and shallow, and now you got to release them and let them go. But they're associated to insecurities inside of you. So they have a long trail they carry with them. You don't just have these things for no reason. Like, girls don't go spend hundreds of dollars on makeup just for, there's more attached to it. And then once they start letting go of it, it's going to be like a whole process of, coming into feeling comfortable in their own skin. And there's so much of that. So much of this is about this learning to be comfortable in your own skin, learning to just accept yourself. And, and makeup it's not necessary. It's not natural. So it's artificial. So it's made so it can go away. So why, people rely on something that is artificial. There's natural and there's artificial. The natural you can depend on. The artificial, you can't. The artificial even has things that make you sick and have problems. So all that artificial shit is going away. This artificial side of life is going away. It's going in way more into this supernatural, which is freaking people out. People are having all sorts of weird experiences. Creatures are showing up. More and more of these creatures and shit are showing up. And people are getting, freaked out. It is, because this world is a supernatural world. It was never what you thought it was. The only reason you thought it was what it was is because you focused. You pulled your mind away from what was there and focused on what you thought was there. And now as that's dissolving, you have to come into the realization of everything around you. And that's superficial, or that's supernatural. There's realms. This is what was it I saw? Jeez. What was it I just saw of the giant thing? There's so many things with the giants. There's a cool, like, mountain range kind of rock formation or something, and it was clear, you can tell it's a giant that's like fallen down, and it's got one fist up, and you can totally see the fist. You can totally tell. And there's people going out and finding all these things, just like they figured out, like, where this salt rocks, these Himalayan salt rocks, it's really coming from inside of giants. Like, there's, just go look up about that stuff. Like, the people who are into the giant stuff, what they're saying, like, all these there's like all there's giant land masses that are really not land like what we think. They're beings. They're giant beings that, I don't know, something happened and it petrified or froze or something. But it's just this other reality, which is so weird too, is in some form, that reality still exists. Just because it doesn't exist to us, it still exists. And so all the things play out but everything is reminiscent in everything else. Like we all have shadows in every other, like there's a shadow, a replica of different times in existence, but they all still play out. Like there's a shadow of us somewhere for someone else, but we're still here. We're still going, but there's still a shadow somewhere up there where somebody is looking back on us. It's weird how it all is like this, this time. It is like, it just depends on where you're at in the situation, but all the things are going. It's like a merry-go-round going around, and you got all the different horses, you know, and all the, you know, like how they have like the yellow one with all the flowers, the pink one, or the white, and they have them all fixed, and your little kid, oh, I want to get on that one right there. And every horse, everything is a different perspective. It's a different possibility. And so everything is all these possibilities and perspectives. It's all of opportunity, of experience. And so it's all in how you look at things and what you look at and where you focus your energy and what you pay attention to and how you interact and perceive. Because how you interact is based on how you perceive, but it's also based on your old trauma and stuff. Like, it's so weird too, because so many people you can have like similar situations, but the reaction can be so different. Like you can have similar situations and one person would go into pleasing people and one person would go into anger and bitterness. So it comes from within, but everything is there so you can see what is inside of you. Confirmation. I'm so lost on what I'm talking about. Like, so fuck. I get it, but I don't know. It seems like some of this stuff is like, I don't know, maybe my brain is just being overwhelmed or something. And this fucking weird ass visual shit. I cannot stand these alpha 432 medical ones. They're weird. Always weird. You know, always good for her. She always sleeps like they're calming to her. And they're weird. Some of the other 432, if you don't do the 432 alpha healing waves, some of the other ones, they do a lot of weird sounds. And that was one thing too that I had noticed in the movies, because I've been talking about it for a while. I've been saying, don't you think it's weird how they keep putting these high frequencies in the movies trying to control your emotions? I was like, I can't stand it. It makes me feel unsettled. It makes me feel uncomfortable. A lot of these new movies, I can't handle it. But it was weird because yesterday I was watching a movie, and it was an old movie, because I'm on this old, I've been seeing a bunch of old movies. And there was those in the older movies, this frequency being used. As I was noticing in a lot of old movies, they use the music, like they would play the music in order to, you know, get you to be nervous or excited or happy or whatever. Now they do it with these frequencies. But they did do it in some older movies. But, oh, yesterday in that one movie I was watching, it was like a Gregory Peck. It seemed like it was called like the Patriot or something. No, the Chairman. The Chairman, I think. But oh my God. But fucking just, oh, I just can't even believe the shit that they show in these movies. I was like, oh my God. And it's all just happening. And they were telling us the whole time. It's like, oh my gosh. It was something with the Chinese and the espionage, and they have this enzyme and the science and the science and having things to kill us or save us is all big money. And they hide the things that can save us. That goes into the hidden vault, and the things that can kill us all becomes big money. And that's why the fraudster and stuff like that can get rich. A little fucking dweeb. Oh, we can't make fun of them because that's why they want to kill us, probably. We can only assume. I don't know. Who knows? That guy's probably 1,000 years old anyways. Who knows? He could have been made in a lab anyways. Like, these fucking science people could be making other science people. That's why they just get weirder and weirder. But okay, let me think. Because it seemed like there was something, I don't know, it seemed like there was something else I was going to say about something. I seriously feel like I seriously need sleep. Feel like I need sleep. I gotta not tell myself that, because then if I can't get it, then it starts making me feel burdened. So I gotta not be like, I need sleep. I'm excited for this call this morning. I feel like that's big moves. Like something's going on. And I'm trying to stay calm. I did order some more stuff from Amazon, but it seems like, it seems so close that everything is just going to collapse. And when it does, like, fuck, man, just think about that. Like, there's not going to be people delivering this stuff. There's going to be, it'll be at first, I think, like a holiday. First, it will be like when the things crash, it'll be a holiday. There will still be people who will just go, I got to get to work. I don't know. Things will work out. Everything, this weird shit happens sometimes. They'll figure it out. They'll get a bailout or something. They'll just go, unless they do the whole martial law or the turning things off and telling us, no, you have to stay put. Like, it could play out in some different ways. Like, they could just tell us, hey, everybody's going to stay put, sit there for 3 days telling us what's going on, and then let us out and then pay people to go do their jobs until we get restructured. Because there's going to be a lot of restructuring, but there's going to be so much chaos. Just think, man, when people aren't getting paid, when people aren't going to get a paycheck and they don't go to work, that is going to be the collapse of our society. Because that is going to show us, like, in a community, like in the movie with James Stewart, in the Wonderful Life, when he goes in, they're trying to collapse the bank, and he goes in with his own money, and is like, okay, how much do you need? No, come on, tell me, like $20? Can you get by with 20? Well, I really need all my money. Well, yeah, but let's just get through this. It's like, we're all together in this. Let's get through it. See, we don't have that. We don't have that. That's what we're aching for. That's what everybody's looking in their phone, trying to find some connection, trying to find something. It's like, but you're not going to find it here. You're going to find it out here. And that out here is going to make you feel vulnerable and insecure and uncomfortable and judged. So in here, you can create a fake person. You can make a pretend person. But out here, you got to be real. And that's uncomfortable. But this is where you got to cross over. You got to get out of here and out in here. And no matter how uncomfortable it is. And just know it's uncomfortable for everybody. So I would try and tell my kids all the time, when they're going to school and they're so insecure and stuff. It's like, you guys, every other kid feels the same way as you. Every other kid is so concerned about their own selves. They're not having any time to judge you. Well, we do go through that in elementary school. They get us all together for the first time, and then everybody's like, oh, you got funny hair. Oh, you got funny eye. Oh, you got a funny nose. Like, we're all just like start picking, and it traumatizes us all. Like, what was it? I was talking to it was something. Somebody was talking about something and being this something that somebody would say to them. It was my daughter talking about something with her EMDR. It's something somebody said to her when she was a kid. And I always said, oh, look, I get it. Like, I was called Amazon. I go walking up to the other kids, all the other girls are down here. I'll be like, hey guys, what's going on? Like, hey guys, what's going on? Okay, Amazon. And that kind of stuff would traumatize you. Like, God, I'm just a big giant creature. I'm just a big giant. That stuff would be like... So anyways, now it's making me think about it because I did measure the other day at my own house because I was like, no fucking way, I'm not shrunk that much. But I measured the other day. So now I think I am 5'8" or 5'8.5". I have shrunk. So I have gotten shorter. So, but now all the people have gotten taller anyways. I don't have to be like, hey guys, what's going on down here? Like, it used to be so much like that. Everybody was so short. I was like way up here. I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. And I was so insecure about it. And I felt like such a doofus all the time. And all my clothes, they didn't make clothes for us either. Because all my shirts would always be like this. All my pants would always be like this high. It's so funny, as you can laugh about it when you look back into the absurdity, the ridiculousness. But when you're going through the experience, it's so traumatic. It's so like, oh my God, so horrible. Why can't I just have clothes that fit? Why don't they make shirts for people with long arms? That was the worst. Oh my God. That sleeve thing, that drove me crazy. The pants thing was horrible too. I think that's why I started going and buying Levi's. I always would go to the men's department and buy Levi's, so because I could buy them by the length. So I would buy jeans that would be long enough. That took a while to get there. But the shirts, that went on for the going around with shirts, like even if you had a long sleeve shirt and it always being like a big gap. That went on for, well, it took a long time for him to start making longer sleeves on clothes. To start considering that it took a lot more tall people to come into the picture, I guess. Those of us who started it, where there was just like not as many of us, be like, man, people are getting so much bigger. And then people start getting so much bigger this way. But, you know, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going off on that. So anyways, I'm just reached a point of delirium, I guess. And so anyways, just remember, love yourself, love everybody, and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.